Pope Francis has released a new encyclical entitled Laudato Si, which is the old Italian for praised be. It's actually the first two words of the Canticle of the Sun by St. Francis of Assisi. This is an important and timely writing because of its focus on the environment. One thing I think that's very important for people to understand, and that is that this papal encyclical is not the first time Christianity or the Catholic Church has had a concern for this topic of the environment. Specifically, Catholic teaching on the environment has been well established with the writings of St. John Paul II and Pope Benedict XVI, as well as in the Catechism of the Catholic Church itself. With this new encyclical, Laudato Si, Pope Francis is continuing an important conversation that puts emphasis on man's special relationship with the natural world. Simply put, man should act in a way which reflects the truths of creation itself. This is the great persuasion of Christianity, that it elevates all elements of man, all elements of the natural world, not only as a strict humanism, which leaves man only with an understanding of his natural capacities. We do not find our beginning in the environment, nor is the wilderness our final end. The creation story, as told in the book of Genesis, proposes a hierarchical natural world wherein all things are entrusted to the human family, who themselves enjoy a dignity apart from the whole of creation, because we hold faculties which allow us uniquely to respond to God's invitation of love. This is called the Imago Dei. This is a great responsibility that first requires us to fully recognize man's humanity explicitly as a human family created in the image of God, and secondly, for us to see our place in creation as stewards of the created world. As the summit of God's creation, we have the responsibility for that creation, which we have been granted, and are called to properly integrate with the environment through our most personal lives. In some cases, this may invite us to act in new, perhaps even not previously considered ways. A proper interaction with the environment means that we must extend our moral faculties when engaging a natural ecology. A physical world pronounced good by God, the God of creation, is not apart from the moral law which permeates man, who is also part of this physical creation. This is why, when understanding our engagement with the environment, we must have a great concern for both the intended and accidental outcomes of our actions, which often hold the possibility of harming the dignity of all men, not to mention the environment. So, we cannot simply rule and subdue the environment, but must also understand ourselves as stewards, acting rationally with the environment, who act with tending and care. This is especially true to consider in a globalized world, where our actions may affect those most subject to the forces of the environment, particularly those who are poor or living in areas with undeveloped economies. The connection that Laudato Si makes between care for the environment and the needs of the poor in particular, and the economy in general, is of great importance, because if we fail to understand this nexus, we fail to serve man with a beautiful dignity made possible only through a moral approach to both the environment and the economy. It is true the riches of the earth do not simply place themselves at our disposal automatically. If they did, there would be no scarcity. There would be no need for conservation and no need for the science of economics, which enables us to allocate scarce resources, reduce waste and externalities, and realize true sustainability through voluntary trade. Those who are impoverished and lack resources require a social effort for their benefit, a process to discover and match needs and resources, to find the best possible outcomes, and to transform our natural environment into the elements of food, clean water, shelter, and other things that allow us to exercise our humanity and societal human flourishing. This process is called a market economy. There is an understandable great concern when governing bodies attempt to turn our individual pieties into state-directed policy. No matter who leads the charge, we have little escape from the most common pitfalls of politics. And however universal the subject matter of the world environment, that crosses culture and national borders, we must take care and not allow a sense of immediacy to fool us into the possibility of a new man capable of purely intentioned associations. In understanding a broader as well as our personal response to this encyclical, we should be on alert for policy implications which do not reflect the whole morality required to consider both man and the created world, but on the alert for wealth transfer policies, embedded corporatism, protectionist trade agreements, crony capitalist ideas or policies, and other financial or economic schemes that, while well advertised, under a critical economic microscope, can be revealed to contain unfair advantages to developed nations, payments and kickbacks, political favors, and evidence of corruption. Between now and this December's UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, it's likely that we're going to hear many suggested policy prescriptions relative to the environment. It is important that these receive thorough analysis to a standard of sound economic thinking. No different than any other economic policy, we must ask, how do these policies affect the dignity of man? Protect his capacity to trade freely in a fair marketplace, promote human flourishing, protect the environment, and offer economic solutions akin to the bounty of free markets, which time and time again show their capacity to serve and feed the needs of all society. My name is Father Robert Sirico. I'm the president of the Acton Institute, a nonprofit think tank where we promote a free society sustained by moral values. Please visit us at acton.org/pope-environment for information and resources such as these that'll give you a balanced and informed approach to economy and the environment. Thank you.